One of the best things about a good surfing experience is telling the story to a friend. Under the shade of a giant Coolangatta mushroom, Rabbit describes an incredible Indonesian tube ride.
And it veritably was a Goofy's paradise for quite some time. You know, the whole place, the thing about it was really mystical, I thought. And then one morning, this guy turned me onto this right-hander over the other side of the island. And dead set, man, I remember my first wave that I took off on there. Like, I just took off on this wave, and it was a really mellow hot dog wave, you know, and I just dropping down, I was really digging on the wave and just feeling it out because I hadn't surfed the place before. They said that the sea snakes roam around this place in packs. And if you ever see a pack of sea snakes coming towards you, it's a pretty heavy sight. So on my first few waves at that place, I was just taking off and I was really just cruising because I was looking for any sea snake packs coming towards me. And then I just surfed this really mellow section and just doing a few, you know, little bottom turns and a little cut back. And I came into this inside and I felt myself sort of getting dragged over this ledge. And I just went with this wave. It's so insane, like, you'll be riding along inside the tube, you know that the coral is right below you. Once you're inside them tubes at that place, definitely want to come back out. Because if you don't come out, your chances of getting some skin off you at least are excellent.
Events like the annual Easter week competition at Bells Beach are taken seriously. Here one surfer pushes another and the sport progresses. Rabbit has felt the push from Queensland's Michael Peterson, and he's felt it for years.
When I was just starting to come on, when I was just starting to get my shit together, he was already hot. Then he started winning all his pro contests. He's won nearly every pro contest in Australia. In fact, he has won every contest in Australia at least once. His moves aren't restricted to just a specialised track or anything. He can just pull off really radical and really smooth things on nearly any part of the wave. He's forever putting himself in really radical spots and pulling it off with just style and class.
remember when I was 12 years old saying to a friend of mine, well, look, we can hang 5, we can hang 10, and we can do a bottom turn, and what's left? 10 years later, and I've got all the basic maneuvers completed, but I still think there's a hell of a lot left.
I can remember back almost 10 years ago when first time Sean came over from South Africa here to Hawaii, and he was just a little gremmy back then, and he wouldn't even know that he was a surfer. He looked like a scrawny little kid, and one day at Haleiwa, it was about 10 feet, Sean paddled out there, and when a lot of guys were just sitting on the beach, and here a 10-year-old kid just pulled himself into some incredible barrels, and especially the last couple of years on the competition circuit, he's shown that that style he had 10 years ago has developed into probably, what is one of the best surfers in the world.
One part of my surfing that I've really concentrated on in the last 2 years has been tube riding. It's a sort of maneuver that you can never perfect, but the most excitement I get out of surfing is from tube riding. A lot of the tube riding in the past, and a lot of the tube riding that's going on now, is just a straight line trim. And I've tried to break that straight line trim and maneuver, because I feel that's what surfing's all about, is doing maneuvers, not just standing there and posing.
He's a handsome guy, he's articulate, he's dynamic, he's a hell of an athlete. He outshines most of these other yo-yos in some of these sports that you read about all the time. There's no doubt in my mind that Sean Thompson, besides being a surfing champion, is going to be a super stud of the sports world.
To surfing is reflected in my approach to surfing pipeline, which is I base my surfing on a calculated risk. When I take off on a wave of pipeline, I've got a 90% chance of making that wave, otherwise I won't take off on the wave. I'm not foolish, I don't try insane things, but I try radical things.
I've been surfing the pipeline since 1966, the first time I went out there. It was always considered a groovy footer's dream, groovy footer's paradise. It was never really taken seriously by anybody to ride it backside until about 1973. Stam Hawk, Booby Jones, and even Al Chapman came and started surfing the pipeline backside with a lot of vigor, a lot of aggressiveness. Then in 1975, along came Sean Thompson. Did the most insane off the lip you've ever seen. Plus, he got in the tube backside and came out. those 13 years I've been around the pipeline, I've seen a lot of people come, I've seen a lot of people go. I think Shaun Tomson's going to be around for a long time.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there they are. 6 of the top surfers in the world. Some have to win, some have to lose.
I've always surfed for the pure enjoyment of surfing, and competition's always been secondary.
1,500, 350.
In every competition I've entered, I've tried to win, but I surf because I love it, and not because I love winning.
Sean. Woo! Give him a prop.
Often I feel when I've done well in the competition, I still haven't been satisfied with my performance in the water. You know, I've got this sort of standard in my head of what I think good surfing is, and I'm always trying to exceed that standard.
Acknowledged as the greatest tube rider in the world today. And he also proved he could be a winner when he won this year's championship. But you better look out next year because PT's going to make a comeback.
Even though I won the RPS this year, I still don't feel like I'm the best surfer in the world. I don't think there's any one guy who's the best surfer in the world. I go down to the beach and I see Mark Richards tearing and Dane Kelower ripping and Rabbit getting insane tube rides. It just spurs me on in my surfing.